It's enough, I think. It's enough, I think.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Green Live stream. Hope everybody is doing okay today. I'm your host, Edie, and this is my wonderful co-host, Mr. Scott Free.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
We kind of have a big show today. I mean, the news just seems to keep accelerating, but we will do our best.
Yeah.
I really love the graphic that you came up with.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I have fun with those things, I tell you. Ooh, I have fun.
Trump as Marie Antoinette. You know.
Do we have it here? Did I put it
yeah,
in?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Oh, sorry.
Wrong.
You did right. Here it is. I
There you
clicked the wrong one.
That's okay.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah.
Very fitting. And I don't know if y'all are aware of what's going on, but it's pretty atrocious.
And that was a grab. I didn't create that, Marie Antoinette. That I stole that one. So
American people are very creative. Have to hand it to
yeah.
Yeah, and I really like this too that you found. It's very French Revolution to build a golden ballroom while children starve and people can't afford health insurance. I would say health care.
I know. I think that I know at first I was like, oh, they got it wrong, but I know what they're referring to. I think they're referring to is the fact that they're holding back opening the government. The Democrats' perspective is that the health insurance rates are going up in January. So they wanted that to be part of the negotiations. And, I said it before, that's a real issue, but when they were in power, they could have solved it at the time. They could have extended it when they had power. But, that's the same old.
Yeah. Same old song and dance, right? And, without the subsidies, it is the Unaffordable Care Act.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
And I don't know why they're not going on offense saying, well, I do know why, but it's a missed opportunity. If they really if they really cared about winning and those kind of things, instead of just like making their money and having a career, they would be saying, no, we're doing universal health care until the government's going to stay shut until we get it.
And, they keep saying every year that the Obamacare costs get worse every year. And when I was on it a couple of years ago, I paid $700 to Blue Cross Blue Shield. And then the government sent $1,200 more to Blue Cross Blue Shield. So that's the kind of numbers. And I mean, again, they're correct. I mean, these folks that are on Obamacare, if they're paying $700, and I know I was the high end, I worry about stuff, so I get the high one. But their bill will now be $1,900. I mean, that's just,
Well, and that's because private insurance is still part of the mix.
Right.
Yeah. It will be cheaper. That we already have enough money in the system.
Yeah.
To give everyone universal health care. And so when you cut people's insurance out and they're not covered, they wait until it's emergency room time to go to the doctor. Okay. Unless, you're fine, which is less and less and less in this country. But so the reason people are picking on Trump, another reason, countless, right, is because of this. Oh, hang on. That's not the right one. Hang on.
No, that's the.
No, I'm looking for the destruction one.
Okay. Yeah, it's in here.
Oh, here it is.
I threw up a bunch. Okay.
Because of this. This is they said they weren't going to touch it, so he lied. Now they're demolishing the whole east wing of the White House, which is irreplaceable. It's historic. And they paved over the Rose Garden. He's acting like he owns the damn White House. It belongs to the people. And he is just a tenant. I guess he thinks he actually is king now, but
yeah, no, it definitely does have that. Well, he displays that almost every day that he talks. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Hazel, did you want to play the Donald Destroys the White House? So this is Mary Trump. I think it's his sister.
I think so. I can't. Yeah, she was in the news quite a bit the first Trump presidency. So
A. Jones says, "Happy birthday, Ajamu Baraka."
I saw that. Yes, Ajamu was the VP candidate with Jill Stein in 2016, folks, and he runs Black Alliance for Peace. He's amazing. Go check him out. If you don't know him already, sorry.
So the toddler who fancies himself a fucking emperor took a bulldozer to the East Wing facade of the White House. Yes, our house, the people's house. By the way, he is a tenant. He lives rent-free in our house. And because the fascist Republican Party has no spine, has no guts, and has no human decency, they are letting him destroy the White House to build his $250 million ballroom. How's that helping everybody out in rural America? You guys happy with your choice? This is just another reminder that it is so much easier to destroy than it is to create. All these people want to do, and indeed can do, is burn it all down. Why? Well, because Donald feels bad about himself all the time. And he needs to do things like build expensive ballrooms that only a handful of people will ever use. He needs to build things like triumphal arches dedicated to him on the 250th anniversary of this country's founding. Why? Because he needs to distract himself from the fact that he is a weak, pathetic little man. That's why. And nobody's stopping him. So the toddler who fancies
I thought about a good photo op for the Democrats. I don't know if they would have done this. And again, that's one of the things you see is this. It seems like nobody's doing anything, and it would have been a good photo op for them to go to the White House and stand in front of those bulldozers, right? I mean,
Oh my God.
that would have been a good one. Okay.
If I was there, I would have thought of it.
Well, and the thing is,
Yeah.
I'm sure that they have it all fenced off so that, nobody can get near regular folks. But I would think, I don't know, but at least the senators and Democrats should have tried to get in and maybe get blocked. But that's something they should. I mean, photo op.
Yeah.
Photo op, folks.
I mean, isn't that their gig, right? Photo op.
Yeah, but that would have been a good one. That would have
Yeah.
been a good one.
Yeah, but I will also say when Doge was happening, they're like, they won't let us in the room.
Yeah,
And then
I
at
know.
Broadview, they won't let us in the building. Aw.
Right. No, good point. Good point. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's, that explains a lot.
But it is pretty gross to see it. I mean, I know that now people are complaining. That's all you're complaining about when there's these other atrocities. Yes, there's these other atrocities, but this one hurts. I don't know. It's just like, ooh, it's creepy.
It feels different because it is a symbol of our country. It is something that is irreplaceable. It is just, what is the word? Just lack of any kind of respect for what for what exists.
And I've worked a little bit with the Preservation Society in Chicago, and I mean they fight really hard for these buildings you never heard of. But the White House, wait a second, what the fuck just happened?
And he didn't get permission.
No, of course, yeah, of course
not.
Like,
so you know what else he's doing? That he's trampling this too, the Constitution.
Oh, I was wondering, what is that? He's trampling out a book?
Yeah. Yeah, our founding documents. He's like, whatever. I can go do stuff. I don't have to ask anyone.
Yeah.
But Scott, if you want to talk about the Alaska flood, that's you know more about it than me.
I mean, I guess I do see the articles. We have an early article that we can put up. I just know that the numbers of people that they've had to move have been, up into the hundreds. And I think the town that I can think gets referenced in the article is like 90% demolished. And the big thing that hit me, I say it on every show, I watch the weather stuff obsessively because of my interest in, the effects of climate change on the weather. And the thing that was so shocking, and again, this is going to be a side issue, and maybe I discussed it already, but it was amazing to realize that those stations don't cover Alaska. And there's like, oh shit, because these are
the early warning.
Fishermen. Nothing. There's nothing. They had nothing. They don't ever cover Alaska ever. And it
Yeah.
was really funny because I think on Fox Weather they do a question and answer thing. And sure enough, someone asked, "Why don't you ever cover Alaska?" And the guy's really struggling to like give some kind of an explanation. That's not the brutal, honest truth. Is that white people don't vacation there? That's why. He couldn't say that, but and it's just it's and again, it does point to, I know that you can't say climate change with any one single event. That's just not true. But I mean, this is massive destruction in Alaska. I mean, the homes were, going
Yeah.
floating away, and thousands of homes ruined, and it's a disaster there. It's too
Yeah,
small
it
for
says
me to
we
read.
have received reports that people's homes have floated away,
Right.
and that people were potentially in those homes.
Oh, I hadn't read the article.
Had to call in, ask Alaska state troopers in both Kipnuk and Kulingak. I'm sure I'm ruining that. Were hit by strong winds and heavy flooding, which caused significant damage, including at least 8 homes being pushed from their foundations with no warning.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, the National Guard is, attacking us in Chicago, but not out there helping folks that need help.
And that goes back to why we're so mad at Trump. He's building this fancy ass ballroom for his ego, and he's not helping anyone. He's cutting people's health care, and people are going to lose their SNAP benefits in a couple of days.
That one is
He's leaving people to fend for themselves from natural disasters. I mean, that's what things that the government needs to be doing. You ruin the economy. People can't afford anything. You're just gonna leave them twist in the wind, literally.
They would complain about leftists being accelerationists. I don't know if you heard that term.
Yeah.
So it's that negative concept where you're like, well, yeah, if it all falls apart, we could have the revolution. But it's like Trump is an accelerationist. I mean, and the whole government is an accelerationist right now. I mean, they're not reopening the government. They're, all these federal workers, they're not going to pay the troops. I mean, everything's falling apart. And then, no disaster relief. I mean, they haven't even talked about that for Alaska. It hasn't even made the news. Well, I should say that. I missed some news items, or a lot of news items. But no, we're in a train wreck. We're watching it real time, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll to talk a little more. This hurricane that's forming in the Caribbean. They are already saying it's going to be, rapid intensification. They're already predicting Cat 5. I mean, it may just completely destroy Jamaica. I mean, it looks like worst case scenario. It's looking really bad. So, yeah.
and their solution is to send an aircraft carrier to South America.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. You found that on the news this morning.
I just saw it just before we went live. I haven't read about it yet.
I mean,
so now the bottom half of our continent is our enemy. So you're just going to start attacking them randomly.
Yep. Because Chevron wants all the oil of Venezuela. And Rick Scott, he has ties with Chevron Direct, his biggest donor or something like that. And so he's all for this, Venezuelan coup crap.
The governor of Florida, right?
Yeah. And that the Nobel Peace Prize winner wants too. She wants a violent coup. Oh, I think we got that. We're covering that.
Yeah, we're covering that.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to cover her. Sorry if I'm being.
Yeah, no, but it's, it ties, the remnants of the hurricane. The hurricane, I think, hit Japan or China. I can't remember. And then the remnants came all the way across and hit Alaska. But the remnants of the hurricane just did massive disaster for Alaska. So, yeah, I know people are saying, "Oh, look, there's no climate change." I mean, the hurricane season was nothing. Well, they got super lucky this year. Super lucky because hurricanes move around from the other highs and lows that are moving around.
Mhm.
And so they just got really lucky that there were a whole bunch of really strong hurricanes this year, but they just got close and
Well,
they moved back
when
out.
is hurricane season? I thought it was now.
It's almost ending. It's getting very close to the end. This will probably be the last, I would
Okay.
think. But this one's going to do some real damage, folks. This is going to be bad. It's going to be real.
Well, yeah, sometimes it just gears up for a really, really bad one.
Yeah. But again, it's going to hit Jamaica. So America's going to be like, oh, there is no hurricanes. Right.
Like what? It didn't come to my doorstep.
Right.
So,
Right.
sorry, people in Alaska are Americans. So.
Yeah.
And you know what else is accelerating? Speaking of accelerationism, homelessness is going way, way up.
Oh, God.
And with this grants pass thing that was done at the federal level, criminalizing being a homeless person because you have nowhere to go. And yet cities and states and federal government, they're not giving us any solutions. So, yeah, you can go ahead and play. I'll quit talking.
Across America, 1 in 30 children will experience homelessness this year. Families are sleeping in cars, motels, or doubling up, invisible in plain sight. Even with 2 full-time jobs, many parents can't afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment. Over half their income goes to rent, leaving no safety net for emergencies. Not a flat tire, not a hospital bill. Decades of underinvestment in affordable housing have left millions without options. Public housing waitlists stretch for years, and only 1 in 3 eligible families ever receive help. Family Promise, a national nonprofit organization, is working to change that. According to their annual report, they were able to prevent homelessness for over 18,000 families last year alone, offering shelter, stability, and support to parents and kids. Karen Olson, founder of Family Promise, said this crisis isn't about bad choices. It's about a broken system where wages and rent no longer match.
Okay, that's good. Didn't know it was a
Homelessness
promo.
Yeah. No, that's okay. No. I've kind of been dealing with that stuff a lot, where it's like you have to go with the content, and I will mention if I have some issue around the organization, because you got to watch out. Mm-hmm. But the content is the content. Now, my major complaint is that you got this cool music, homelessness. Yeah. I'm gonna dance to homeless. It's a little weird. Come on, people.
It is
serious subject. Don't put cool music behind it. Sorry.
Yeah, it should be like
right, emergency. That's what it should be. Yeah, that'd be more appropriate.
So I did see an article from Capitol Hill News, Illinois. So apparently Pritzker had a plan to eliminate homelessness. Well, housing funding cut in Illinois budget as homelessness increases.
Right. Yeah.
Illinois' fiscal year 2026 budget reduced funding for programs serving homeless people by more than $14 million from the previous year. J.B. Pritzker's Home Illinois initiative, aimed at reaching functional zero homelessness, saw a $26.6 million cut.
Yeah,
that program was launched in 2022 and had previously been on a steady upward funding trend.
Oh, wow.
Advocates worry the reductions in potential federal cuts will exacerbate homelessness in Illinois, which has increased 116%.
Yeah.
More than double.
Right.
In 2024, according to state data.
Right. Yeah. And I understand, certainly some of it is the federal cuts. There's no doubt about that. But still, it's just, we have to massively reprioritize in an emergency situation, which this is.
Yeah, sell the Israel bonds.
Yeah.
Tax the billionaires.
Right.
Exactly. Tax South Street. And let's get people off the street.
Right. It's not enough. I do mention the federal funds, but that's not a reason to not do these things. There are methods by which we can. It's how much you care. Money. Right. Mm-hmm. Remember, he's a billionaire, folks. He is a billionaire. He's got a billionaire brain.
Yeah. So, I get it on one level. Like people, here's what people say. So I went to our city council, and one of our city council members, Nathan Colombo, naming him,
there you go.
Said that, well, I'm worried about people that are almost, one emergency away. And, the warming center, that was just we just kept throwing money at it. And I'm like, if you saved one person's life, it was worth it.
Right.
And you didn't have a follow-up permanent solution. So you need, I look at it like, you're in the emergency room. Our city council should be triage unit for anybody that is in desperate need. And then if you need more, you get checked into the hospital. And then once they get you well, then you're fine. You're back in society. That's how it works.
And, to tie all these issues together, because they are all so interconnected. So, the homeless issue, and like you said, if you save one person's life, well, now with climate change, again, I do not have the right vernacular for this, but now we are seeing more polar vortexes coming down from above. And that is directly because of climate change. And it also means increase in deaths of the homeless. There is no doubt. I mean, they do not survive. And so it is super important that we have the funding to handle these situations and be prepared. Winter's coming. I guarantee you we're going to get a polar vortex. Guarantee you.
And I firmly believe that, a lot of people do good work, not even saying that they don't. However, every org that you add, especially if they have a staff and all that, it should be the work of the government,
Yeah, right.
Whatever increases your overhead is less money that goes directly to the issue. Yeah.
And that's a good point, Edie, because that's kind of our stance here at Green Live Stream, is that we do, as you could tell by our guests, we absolutely promote mutual aid, without a doubt. We absolutely promote it. We don't reject that idea, but we also recognize, in the electoral system that we are trying to infiltrate with the Green Party, that we also recognize that the government should be there doing it also. So, we have to do, multitask here.
But there is one organization that I've grown to really admire in my city. It's Carbondale United.
Okay.
It's ran by Nancy Maxwell and a wonderful team of people that do the hard work of helping people after they get out of prison, of giving people access to computers so they can do resumes, of doing mutual aid. They've got an event coming up, and I'm sorry I didn't bring my flyer in. Coming up to collect money, or not money, of course, but items so you can give to the homeless, like gloves and coats and things. They do amazing work, and yeah.
I'm just going to make a little commentary. A friend of mine and I, we like to hit the thrift stores and in Chicago. And one thing that we have noticed, which is it's horrific, is the prices at thrift stores have just gone insane. They've gotten really expensive. I showed them this. I mean, it's kind of it was a worker overall thing, you tie it here or whatever. And, a decent, they were selling it for $100.
That's not thrift.
And I was like, what the hell are you doing? That's all donations that come into them. $100. And like, what are you doing? You're missing the point. Whatever the point of a thrift store was before, this ain't it. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible, the prices. And again, now with the SNAP benefits being cut, I mean, I really don't know how people are going to make it.
So yeah, if you can donate to your local food bank, go look them up.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get hit hard, and people are actually going to go hungry thanks to Trump and the dysfunction in Washington from the two-party system that doesn't work for anybody but themselves. I would also like to give a shout out, Scott, if you ever come visit me, there's a resale shop. It's kind of vintage stuff. It's really cool. Called Tropicana, and they have a lot of coats. So if you're in Carbondale, you need a coat, go see Martha. She's amazing. And there's like 3 long racks of coats in there.
I also,
prices are reasonable.
As we drove around, and again, we were just running errands and stuff. And we, my friend, he knows the whole, I've talked about him. He kind of knows a lot of the homeless folks in Chicago, and he knows the places that provide for food, and give meals, do a lunch, do a
Mhm.
dinner kind of thing. And so he would point them out. Well, he's pointing them out, and we're looking at the long lines. I mean, the lines are really getting long now. And he's like, oh, I haven't seen it this long before. So already people are kind of, it's getting bad. And I wasn't sure. They keep saying that November is the cutoff, that they're not going to have funds for in Illinois for SNAP.
Mhm.
And I know that that money comes a little before the month. So I don't know. I don't know if they would be getting it right now. So I don't know if that's going to happen in this next month, or whether this is the one that's not going to happen.
But most SNAP benefits are like automatically deposited. People have a card.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They keep saying November 1st is the cutoff. Do they mean
unless they reopen the government?
Right. But I'm just saying, I don't know if they mean this one that's happening today and up to November 1st, because they do come in early sometimes, or that's the one they're talking about. So they're not getting the money this week. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And what are the No Kings people doing right now? They're getting petition signatures for the Democratic Party, and for
Right.
everybody that thought that this was just a protest against Trump, I'm down with protesting against Trump. You just got to know who it is. Indivisible is an arm of the Democratic Party. They want to get reelected. That's why they're doing it. They have every right to be angry. I'm angry. I went as a frog to talk about Green Party because that's what I do. But you want to bring up this article? What is it called? No Kings and the Lure of Spectacle.
Margaret Kimberley. Okay.
Margaret Kimberley.
Great. Yes. Green Party. Margaret.
Black
Agenda Report. Yep.
Yeah. So I guess I can read a little, just kind of introduce. Many years ago, the late Glenn Ford, then the Black Agenda Report executive editor, related his experience with the 1 Million Man March, which took place on October 16th in Washington, D.C. October 16th, 1995 in Washington, D.C. It was organized by Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam and was meant to be a day for Black men to atone for what they were said to be their shortcomings. Okay, I don't know about all that.
Okay.
I'm going to skip ahead a little. I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
Glenn Ford was among them, and years later, he still expressed dismay at what he saw as a missed opportunity. Ford was of the opinion that the only reason to have 1 million people gather in one place was to make clear and cogent political demands. But he recalled that after many speakers came to the podium, Farrakhan himself came to the stage, made obligatory thank yous to his fellow organizers, and then began musing about numerology and its connections with United States history.
Okay.
And then it talks about the desperation over Trump. I get it. So the impressive numbers for No Kings speak to the desperation that millions feel as President Donald Trump administration's big beautiful bill will deprive millions of people of affordable health care or any health care at all. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, are terrorizing immigrants and citizens alike as it raids apartment buildings, snatches minor children into the maw of detention, and inevitably kills people. Trump is preparing for war against Venezuela while few in Congress or the public express any opposition. So it is classic astroturf, But, I came with the heart of let's not do Democrats anymore. There was one other thing I wanted to read. Hang on, I'll find it. Oh, I think this is it. The 1 million march is remembered as being a success, mostly because it took place at all. Yes, there are individuals who organized together who ultimately did good work, but the impact of having a huge Black organized march should have been bigger and better. Political action must start out small and determined. Any victories must then be shared among activists, while big marches and electoral politics should be last on any agenda. If not, people will be in a crowd listening to numerological equations or following duplicitous political operatives who paved the way for Trump to be in office at all. Bigger is not always better. All politics are local, and those strategies must be mastered before the No King spectacle. Surely there will be one, and hopefully there will be far fewer people in attendance.
You know, I thought the interesting thing that I've seen, and we're going to bring that up next with Mayor Brandon Johnson, is just how people have said, okay, this was the biggest ever. There were 7 million people. And what's next? And I think that's a really interesting position, because what are they going to do? Do another one? And people are going to go out and do the same thing. I'm hoping that people understand that that would be kind of dumb, right? I mean, what would be the point? You've already succeeded at what you were trying to do. You got a ton of people out, a ton of people, you know. So actually at this one in Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson called for a general strike, which I thought was really interesting. And I dig on the Democrats all the time. This is a good one. This is something. This is something. And I could bring up, I don't know, I tried to do the link and it didn't work. So I'm going to try to bring this up.
Okay.
But
well, I would say that was their missed opportunity. I did see people at the last one and the hands off going around trying to get people to sign up to strike. So I admire that. Had the Guy Fawkes masks on. I don't know who they were with exactly, but they were that national website like generalstrike.us or whatever. Yeah,
okay.
They were
Good. Oh, good for them. Yeah, and we'll see, because you know, I looked around like crazy after this happened, and I didn't see it picking up in the kind of liberal world, or not that I'm a follow all those places, but I didn't see it, but other people are talking. So it seems like general strike is in, you know, the populace now as a possibility, because, you know, and I'm sure that the organizers do not want to do this, right? Like you said, all they want to do is get petition signatures for the Democrats. So, so this article, let's see if I can share it here. This is so
share post.
Yeah, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson ups the ante as it calls for a general strike, and this is from Huffington Post, so that's national. So that's cool.
Kelly Vera.
Oh, thank you, Kelby Vera.
Kelby. Okay.
Yeah. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson boldly called for Americans to stage a general strike during his speech at the city's No Kings rally on Saturday, summoning people of all backgrounds to unite and take a stand against President Donald Trump's tyranny, the ultra wealthy, and corporate greed. Johnson said, "We are going to make them pay for their fair share of taxes, to fund our schools, to fund jobs, to fund healthcare, to fund transportation. Democracy will live on because of this generation," he proclaimed. "Are you ready to take it to the courts and to the streets?" So the cool thing about this, you know, like I said, he's a Democrat. I know that they don't want to do anything to buck the system. But it also, you know, it's interesting, because I think that Edie and I need to take credit for being like the first ones to call for general strike.
In Illinois, maybe.
But only joking. But we were doing this way early. And the interesting thing about it, even within, you know, the Illinois Green Party, we had some discussions. And then, you know, we had to even get people to understand what the definition was. You know, that we don't mean simply a union strike. We mean like everybody. And so we had to talk about it and discuss it. There were arguments and stuff. And so that stuff is going to go on in public. But that's good that it's going to go on. And to me, the reason I share this article is because a couple paragraphs down, they talk about the history. There has never been a true nationwide general strike in the United States, though a series of post-World War II work stoppages, remembered as the Great Strike Wave of 1946, mobilized 5 million American workers, demanding leaders to address economic instability and untenable working conditions. In its aftermath, Congress cracked down with the Taft-Hartley Act, a legislation prohibiting a broad range of union tactics, including calling for political strikes. The 1947 law is still in place despite repeated attempts to repeal it. And I wanted to add to that history. So it passed Congress. It was actually vetoed by the president, which was Harry Truman.
I thought it was Truman.
Yeah, and it was overridden. So you have to get 2/3. So it was overridden in the House 331 to 83, and then in the Senate 68 to 25. So folks, that's called bipartisan. Whenever you hear that word, run for the hills, because it is the worst of the worst. I mean, that is when they unite. And so sure enough, Democrats got it. Was a Republican led House or Senate, I can't remember. But anyway, that was way beyond like one or two Democrats just, selling out. No, folks, that was them all coming together to make sure this never happens.
Because they don't want workers to flex their power.
Right.
And ever since then, at the well, we'll do the Chris Smalls video soon. I mean, maybe this is a good spot to actually do it. Chris Smalls was talking about if you go to other countries that are like 90% unions, they don't have homeless people. And they have health care. It's like that's what being a union can do for you. It's
right.
like in the single digits. Yeah. And then even the public sector is only like 10%. And why do you think they want to break the post office? Because it's a union.
Yeah. Oh, good point. We haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But,
so we'll see. I mean, to get, the liberals behind a general strike. The thing is, I'm so mean to them. It just seems like they do what they're told. So, but we'll see. We'll see if there's enough. If there's enough push for the attempt at a general strike. Again with the Taft-Hartley Act, it'll be illegal for the unions. But you said that they've done that before.
Well, I think it was West Virginia teachers. They weren't allowed to strike, and they did it anyway, and they won.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, and I know, there is a risk to it, absolutely, because Reagan fired the air traffic controllers back when I was a kid. And that industry has never recovered because when you get rid of everyone and you start over, so everybody ages out at the same time, everybody retires at the same time, and they're still using those little physical placards to move the planes around.
Oh, wow.
That's been there since like for decades. They're overworked, they're underpaid, like the whole 9 yards.
And it is true. There will be opposition, and that opposition will come from people who are saying, I can't do this. I can't, and it's just impossible. I can't. And so, that was one of the main reasons to form unions, was to have a fund, and why you get your monthly dues, to have a fund that covers you. And, we are very vulnerable. And so, but again, I think that the talk about this, to get it in people's minds and then work through those things, raise money. We need to raise money so that people do have funds so that they can survive something like this. So I'm just glad that now it seems to be in public discussion. That's what's really important.
And it's no accident that our last several guests have been all about mutual aid.
Yeah.
Because with the union density being at record lows, that's not really where it can come from. They can't make it. I mean, targeted ones, sure. I think there's some people are asking the AFL-CIO to go on strike, but they keep trying to make everything illegal, like protesting and that. But here's something you can do. You can make a pledge right now to yourself. Don't buy big box. Don't buy online for Christmas. Only buy local, or trade things. Like I gave my daughter something that I had in the house that I thought she'd like, and she did the same for me, We didn't even spend money on each other. So if you remove that big fourth quarter bonanza, if it just falls flat, that's going to have an effect.
Yeah.
Blackout, no online shopping, no big box shopping for Christmas season. Just don't do it.
Yep.
And your local businesses will so appreciate it. You're going to get to know people. The money stays in your community. It helps the place where you live. It doesn't go to some, data center in Texas or somewhere. Not that there's anything wrong with Texas, but if you don't live in Texas, it's not helping you. So, and this is why we need to go on strike, right?
Yeah.
There is a lot going on. So there's a Substack talking about politicians who are still taking money from AIPAC, but I believe it's got a TikTok on there or something.
Oh, okay.
In the article.
Oh.
And so they're trying to hide it now because AIPAC has just become so toxic. Can you see it?
Let's see.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and play that.
Breaking news, AIPAC, the pro-Israel lobby, is trying to hide something from you. Because they are now telling their donors to donate to politicians directly instead of through the organization. And they're doing this so when these politicians get these donations, right, on their filings report, AIPAC, the organization, will not show up. The AIPAC brand has become so toxic, even they know that their name affiliation next to any politician is extremely harmful. Like even now to the average voter walking down the street, if they see that a politician takes money from AIPAC, immediately they lose interest and don't like them. That is how toxic this brand has become, which is a good thing. So going forward, a lot of these politicians that were getting AIPAC money will suddenly not get it anymore. So when you see them say, oh, look at me, I take no AIPAC money, they're lying to you. Again, they're still getting donations from these people that would have given it to them anyways through AIPAC. The only difference is that the name AIPAC is not on their filings report. You can't see the name anywhere anymore. They're trying to be sneaky, but it's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah. And what I wanted to add is that this is another really good example of the content is what counts as long as you're aware of the groups, because I think our producer was Hazel who pointed out that watch out for AIPAC Tracker because it's kind of a psyop. And the thing is, it is true. Like at first, it was just their red graphics showing, the people that took AIPAC money. And a lot of them were, your top Democrats and along with the Republicans. But then sure enough, you started seeing the greens for AOC and the green ones for Bernie, and it's like people get ready.
And they're not Green Party, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's not that wasn't the meaning of that graphic. But yeah, so you have to watch out that it's kind of a psyop to give a way out, and they'll probably go further with this, like this person was saying that they're not going to take AIPAC money anymore, so they're going to start getting the go logos for these politicians when in reality they're still getting the same money.
Yeah,
but,
and you have to pin them down. Are you pro-Israel or are you for human rights? You can't be for both.
Well, and again, it's it is, as we talk about these things so that folks listening can kind of get a better sense of what's going on. But the reality is the politicians aren't going to listen to any of this logic. This logic means nothing to them. Absolutely nothing. They simply look at what their donors are doing, what their donors want, and they follow orders.
And they do what they're told.
They definitely do that. There you go.
That was for you, Karen Fraley, if you're watching.
Oh.
Because I was dressed as a frog. I went to the SIU's homecoming parade with Shawnee Park and Climate Alliance, and we our chair Josh was pulling a wagon that had toads in it, and at the back said, "We just do what we're told."
There you go. Nice one. That's good. And thanks, A Jones 35. Hey.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about, Open Secrets is a place that you can go and kind of look up people's donations. I'm sure there's other places, but we stumbled across this one. Pro-Israel top contributors. Now showing data for 2024 election cycle. Total contributions, 2023 to 2024, $78,118,068.
Mm-hmm.
And the party breakdown is more Democrats than Republicans.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I saw this, but I kind of didn't realize the significance there. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if they have the total per party. I didn't see that part. But, and these are the donors themselves.
Yeah. Right.
Plus, there's
it shows just
and
the
here's all
company
these
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's all these groups that I didn't know existed. So there's AIPAC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee, right? J Street, Republican Jewish Coalition.
J Street, we know them.
NORPAC, Democratic Majority for Israel.
Oh, charming.
$1 million, $1.6 million.
Yeah.
Joint Action Committee for Political Affairs. That sounds, innocuous, not. U.S. Israel PAC. Maryland Association for Concerned Citizens. Oh, that's one they love to do. Citizens Organized PAC.
Yeah.
So just go check out Open Secrets. And this is, I put most of the links in the chat, but it's really hard because Facebook doesn't like links. So this is, just look up pro-Israel top contributors. And you can also look up your congressperson, your people running for office, da-da-da.
And you know what? I'm going to apologize because now while we were talking, I was kind of looking, I wanted to give photo credit to the Trump Mary Antoinette AI generated. So I'm very sorry I used AI. I swore to myself, don't do it. So next time I'm just going to cut out a head, stick it on a picture.
Just say no, Scott.
Just say no. I mean, sorry.
It's hard. It's hard to avoid it. It's everywhere.
Oh, it's really gross on Facebook. I don't know if I talked about this before. It's really, I don't understand. No, I just posted something on Facebook about this. I mean, now when 90% of the videos I'm seeing as I scroll on Facebook are AI, it's like, oh my God, we're going to be in trouble. We're already in trouble because now you're going to try to find something that's real and it's going to be really hard. And I think that really does come down to, trusting in sources, but it's going to be very limited to where you go, where okay, I know this person, even Scott Freeze screws up with the AI sometimes, but that somebody's going to try to do their best to not be, putting out this fake crap that's pulling all the water from our lakes
and using our electricity.
Yeah.
Vast amount to spy on us, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where it's really going.
Yep.
I'm going to start doing lives, but I need more people to go to my Facebook page. It's Edie for Illinois. I need to get 100 people on the page. I haven't been using it a lot yet, but it's getting ready to escalate for sure. But I can't go live until I get 100 followers. So please go follow Edie, EYDE for Illinois on Facebook. So I think we have a banner of all the people that are running.
Let me share it here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I found it.
Oh, you got it.
Butchware, okay. Andy Ellis, me, and now we can add Griselda. We have to fix it. So there's my website, but just go to Edie for Illinois on my Facebook.
Are you going to share it? You going to share it?
What?
Oh, I thought you said you were going to share it. I can share it.
Yeah, you can share it.
Right.
Oh, I just put up the banner. So yeah, get me some more followers. I need to share it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that picture was from Pride.
Right.
We're carrying the Palestinian flag. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, everybody go there and like it. Is that what you do? Or follow it?
Follow it. Yep. Follow my page. Yeah. So I'll probably have to send it out again. Maybe share it to my other page because I got over 1,000 people there.
Oh, nice.
So that's where I get the most interaction. But I wanted to talk about, the corporate Democrats delivered Donald Trump to us. So this is an article from October 22nd. Norman Solomon from TomDispatch. And the picture is Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. Yep. So
Yeah.
I'll just read a little bit. This one I went through pretty good, had some spaces picked out. So the human condition includes a vast array of unavoidable misfortunes. But what about the preventable ones? Shouldn't the United States provide for the basic needs of its people? Such questions get distinctly short shrift in the dominant political narratives. When someone can't make ends meet and suffers dire consequences, the mainstream default is to see a failing individual rather than a failing system.
Mm-hmm.
Even when elected leaders decry inequity, they typically do more to mystify than clarify what has caused it. While income inequality is now a familiar phrase, media coverage and political rhetoric routinely disconnect victims from their victimizers. Human interest stories and speechifying might lament or deplore common predicaments, but their storylines rarely connect the destructive effects of economic insecurity and how corporate power plunders social resources and fleeces the working class. Yet the results are extremely far-reaching. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty and senior poverty of any major country on earth. Bernie, you're right, but you just didn't bring it, did you? Such hardships exist in tandem with the ever greater opulence for the few, including this country's 800 people, billionaires. That's like double the size of my high school class,
Yeah.
But standard white noise mostly drowns out how government policies and overall economic systems keep enriching the already rich at the expense of the people with scant resources.
And by the way, since you mentioned Bernie, we didn't grab this video for this week, but yeah, he was on some show talking about how Trump's immigration policies are good and Biden didn't do enough. So how's that for a charming Bernie Sanders?
What?
Yeah, it's out there, folks. I go try to find it. Oh, it's gross. Yeah,
I'm confused.
I know. Well, I mean, that's the Bernie Sanders. He every once in a while he'll put out a zinger. That's for sure. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The policy of kidnapping people off the street and stopping you because you're a person of color?
It's unreal. I mean, the guy, oh my God. It's just, again, what's so gross is that we point out thing after thing after thing after thing about Bernie Sanders and AOC and some of the other ones. Mm-hmm. And yet people still idolize the guy. They still follow him. They still think he's the great hope. Ugh.
Well, you can't have any people that are your heroes. You can have people that you admire. That's okay. But don't give them hero status, because then you stop being critical. Yeah. You check your critical thinking at the door.
Right.
Exactly. We must hold our politicians accountable. They are not gods. They are not to be worshipped. They are supposed to be there to do what we say, and they're not.
And that's a good segue to the next thing about crystal ball.
Oh, I was going to read a little more.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yep.
So, opportunity as killer ideology. The Democratic Party establishment now denounces President Trump's vicious assaults on vital departments and social programs. Unfortunately, 3 decades ago, it cleared the path that led toward the likes of the Doge wrecking crew. A clarion call in that direction came from President Bill Clinton, when in his 1996 State of the Union address, he exulted that the era of big government is over. Clinton allowed those instantly iconic words by adding, "We cannot go back to the time when our citizens were left to fend for themselves." Yeah. The seminal Clintonian theme of opportunity, with little regard to outcome, aimed at a wide political audience. In the actual United States, however, touting opportunity as central to solving problems of inequity obscured the huge disparities in real life options. In theory, everyone has a reasonable chance. In practice, opportunity was then and remains badly skewed by economic status and race, beginning as early as the womb. In a society so stratified by class, opportunity as the holy grail of social policy ultimately leaves outcomes to the untender mercies of the market.
Yeah. No, it's
That's an article everyone should read. And SharePost is just incredible.
you said the DOJ wrecking crew, so it's becoming really obvious, when ICE does these targeted things. I mean, it is targeted, so they have the name, address, and they know where they work, and they go. So they went and got a bunch of data, and again, it has nothing to do with any people committing any kind of crimes whatsoever. They're getting people off the I saw a piece, or it was a meme. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's true, but it was really sick. So they were accusing somebody, I have no proof, that some person had a construction site that they were building something. They completed it, and the guy that ran the construction thing called ICE to get them, so he didn't have to pay them. I don't know if it's true, but I just saw that, and the only thing that makes me think that kind of shit is true. And again, I shouldn't put too much into the comment sections, but my God, the comment sections are atrocious. Maybe it's a lot of bots. I mean, the people that are still supporting this shit, you're showing people violently thrown to the street, kidnapped, and then you hear that they were had a little vendor cart, or they, were here for 30 years and they didn't commit a single crime. And it's horrific that people are still supporting this stuff. It's scary.
Because they've been sold a bill of goods, and we'll talk about that in a little bit later. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Because what they say it is not what it is. But you want to talk about Crystal Ball supporting somebody that's not worth supporting. I don't know what the hell she's thinking. She gets a lot of stuff right, but this one's, girl, you are wrong on this one.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to put it up? Let me see.
Oh yeah, I was just. You can find it. There you go.
So her response to Graham Plattner doing well in the polls for the primary was, "Oh hell yes." So Crystal Ball, who has talked about, she has been super, super critical of the Democrats when it doesn't have anything to do with voting, when just in general, she could be super critical, and you're thinking, wow, she's finally getting it. She's finally realizing that the Democrats aren't the answer, and that she pulls this crap. And the thing what's so bad about this one is Graham Plattner has been really exposed online numerously. He is a BlackRock mercenary. He was in Iraq slaughtering people. I mean, just a horrific person. And now the latest is he got caught. He's got a Nazi type tattoo and I think on his chest. And so he's apologizing for it. And so that's what's happening right now. And Crystal Ball says, oh, hell yes to this guy. So thankfully she got ratioed to hell. And let me see, I wrote a little thing. I misspelled something.
Yeah.
So let me see.
Well, sometimes when your emotions are high, spelling is
not I'm just terrible. I probably voice texted it in or something. Who knows? But yeah. So we're not going to mention mine, but we'll read some of the other ones. So if you're willing to overlook 4 tours in Iraq, working for Blackwater, a Nazi tattoo, you're not a leftist. You are a brainwashed liberal who doesn't think the lives of dead Iraqis and Afghanis matter. And that just went on and on and on. I mean, what the hell is she doing? I mean, I hope people stop following her. Please stop. There are plenty of people who give good analysis, but this kind of crap, this is just unforgivable.
Freaking stop doing that. Stop believing the Democrats are going to save us. They can't. They are incapable. The Democratic Party, like Butch says, needs to go the way of the Whigs because they can't. I mean, that happened in Germany. There was a weak liberal party that let the Nazis march right in. This is what's happening here. Do you not see? You know, you can't. It's not the answer. That strategy of, oh, we're gonna change it from the inside out. If that's what she's thinking, I don't know. I'd love to hear what her thoughts now.
And
It didn't work. It's been almost a century. Sorry, fail.
And well, no, fine. I just, we played a Kyle Kalinske video, which was excellent, right, on the content, and we'll see. These folks, I don't know their funding sources, but there is no doubt when it comes time to go to the voting booth, they are just all pro-Democrat, even though they screamed about them all 3 years previous. Yeah. When it comes down to it, they always support the Democrats.
And the party will not change unless they know you're going to leave.
And right.
And they do not respect your opinion.
No.
They don't care what you got to say.
No.
None of it. Unless they know you're going to leave them. And you've got a place here.
But you got to leave them first, folks.
You got to leave them first.
You got to leave them first, and then we'll see how they react. But you first got to do it. That's the problem. The Democrats, or the people that I know that follow the Democratic Party, don't seem to have any intention of doing that. A few I've seen change. Not too many.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about, Human Rights Watch has been checking out Illinois, where we live. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Federal agents use excessive force in Illinois. So this is written by Human Rights Watch. Chicago, October 23rd, 2025. Federal law enforcement agents have since mid-September 2025 used excessive force against peaceful protesters, legal observers, volunteer street medics, and journalists during demonstrations outside a U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement ICE detention facility in suburban Chicago. That's the Broadview. Human Rights Watch said today protests at the Broadview, Illinois facility escalated following the start of ICE's Operation Midway Blitz on September 8th. And an increase in immigration raids and seizures throughout the Chicago area. And we're getting ready to show you. That's good. So people can go check it out.
And again,
they're not really doing what they say they're doing.
Right. And again, I always got to qualify. Human Rights Watch has not been so good when reporting on other countries that, our government doesn't like. So little qualifier with them. But again, it's the content, in that case, they're doing good work.
Yeah, the next one I think is Facebook.
Oh, okay. So
ICE takes students.
Let me see.
These are you at Citizens, and you said start at 104.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. So I mean, they're racial profiling like crazy, and we allowed this to happen. I think I actually skipped it. I started to put in breaking news. The girl that was murdered by a police officer in Springfield, Sandra Massey.
Yeah,
that trial's going on right now.
It is,
and right. His name's Sean something. He walked in like he owns the room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try to get this going.
Oh, the big deal with that.
This morning, after we had a horrific day yesterday with ICE terrorizing our community, as we were just processing the horrible days that we have been living, especially yesterday, we found ourselves again in Little Village. We found ourselves again with ICE agents, masked, without warrants, without identifications, coming and terrorizing people in the discount mall. The security guard blocked their entrance, did not allow because they did not have a judicial warrant. They arrested the security guard in a violent way, and they also used tear gas. And I want to remind these agents, once again, the federal judges have already ruled that they cannot be arresting people without warrants, and they should never be using tear gas or weapons of war on civilians as they did today around 10:30 a.m. this morning. There were some people who were protesting the atrocities when we saw the guard being arrested. And then some young people were harassed, they were attacked, and one of them was beat up. My office was witness of that. One of the kids had blood in his face. Another student was arrested. And we found out later that a student was actually from Benito Juarez. It is outrageous that ICE agents are terrorizing minors, children, that were protesting the outrageous attack on our neighbors, on our communities. That's what happened. There was another unrelated incident. So I want to be clear. The arrest did not happen here near the school. There was another worker that was going to work in a nearby business that was arrested on 21st and Paulina. That has been confirmed. So I want to make sure that people are clear, because we're doing everything we can. I'm thankful for the teachers, from the educators, from the elected officials who have passed multiple resolutions and executive orders prohibiting child endangerment.
And so just a little context, that's one of our alder persons in Chicago. And he mentioned this school that the student was from who was attacked by ICE. And
It didn't happen on the school grounds, but it was still
right. Right. It was a student from that school where they were at. And also that they used tear gas at a mall. At a mall. And there was also tear gas at a school that they used. So
at a school, yeah.
I mean, it's
and it comes inside your car, so they didn't like having to wait in traffic.
Oh yeah, right.
But we can do the postal worker in a second. But I really want to talk about, okay, so we give the Democrats a lot of shit, right?
Yeah.
Pritzker creates Illinois Accountability Commission in executive order, so states can do executive orders too, amid federal deployment. So I'm getting spam on here, but so this is from Eyewitness News, ABC Channel 7, Chicago. So the governor said the community will be able to reach out to report activity in the future. So they got a website that's not up. And their solutions are just, I get they want you to document, first is to create a public record of the abuses, capture the impact on families and communities, and last, the group will recommend actions to prevent further harm. Well, people are being harmed right now, every day. What are you doing?
Right, bureaucracy crap.
There's a lot of evidence already, and here's the part that I wanted to get to. You guys, try not to be too nauseous, but this is why people still think what's going on has value, is validated. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security shared the following statement with ABC 7 Thursday afternoon. Once again, Governor Pritzker continues to smear law enforcement who simply enforcing the rule of law.
Hardly.
And are putting their lives on the line to remove violent criminals from Illinois because J.B. Pritzker refuses to do his job.
Right.
DHS law enforcement officers follow the law and the U.S. Constitution. Violent rioters and terrorists have opened fire on law enforcement officers, thrown rocks, bottles, and fireworks at them, slashed the tires of vehicles, and have destroyed multiple law enforcement vehicles. Others have chosen to ignore commands and have attempted to impede law enforcement operations and use their vehicles as weapons against our officers. They have routinely been doxxed, stalked, and threatened by vicious gangs and unhinged activists. Despite these grave threats and dangerous situations, our law enforcement show incredible restraint.
Oh my God.
Professionalism in exhausting all options before any kind of non-lethal force is used.
Okay, well, you warned us.
I call so much bullshit on that.
I got nauseous for that. Oh my God.
I need a Dramamine.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, gross. But that's our government. They're gross.
So
but
here's an example of,
Yeah, let's play the UPS. Oh, this one is. Yeah,
I think
let's play the USPS. Sorry.
I think that might be you, Scott.
Oh, is that me? Am I supposed to do that one? Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, it's from X.
Okay.
I mean Twitter.
All right, hold on one
Screw
second.
you, Elon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much video evidence. They don't need to keep gathering evidence. It's clear. And Pritzker is in charge of the state police. He's using the state police to harass the protesters, not arrest ICE. I've said this before. I'll say it again. You see something illegal, your police officers step in, make it stop. Yeah, try to expand it.
Agent on my mail route. All right, man. So look, I swear I never thought I would be in a position to get
It's on the
deported
bottom.
from the country
Right.
that I was born in. So, like, I'm out here doing my mail route as usual, just trying to finish up the day. And the next thing I know, like, it's an ICE agent, like, telling me to put my hands where he can see them. So at first, I thought it was like a joke or something. I'm like, sir, like, you know, I'm with the U.S. Post Office. I'm literally at work. But he not laughing. He like circling around me like, what country I'm from, where was I born, and if the vehicle was mine. So I pull out my little ID, whatever, and, you know, I show him my work scanner. I even show him like my little mail keys, whatever. So he's still not buying it. Like, he like, you know, it's a federal offense to impersonate a postal worker, right? Bro, my heart dropped as soon as he said that. Like, how do you even prove like you work somewhere when the person doesn't want to believe you? So the next thing I know, another agent walk up, hand near his holster, and I'm just standing there with my mail bag like halfway open, like, sir, like, these are bills and coupons, like, not contraband. So they starting to ask if I got documentation proving if I'm a U.S. citizen. I said, yeah, like my birth certificate, like it's at home. And one of them radios in, and I hear him say, possible impersonator claims he's USPS. That's when I realized, like, okay, they like dead serious. So I had to get him my supervisor number, like, on the spot, and they actually called my station. And thank God my supervisor answered. She like, oh yeah, Brian, like, he's one of our carriers, like. And the agent just looked at me for a second, nodded, and goes, next time wear your full uniform. And then walked off just like nothing happened. Just like messed my whole morning up, bro. So, I don't know, y'all. At this point, I just sat back in my truck for a minute just thinking like, yo, it's crazy how like things can just like flip instantly. Like, 1 second you delivering people's mail, and the next second you explaining like why you exist here. I don't know, y'all. That was a crazy situation. Like, since that day, like, I don't step foot outside. I try to have my full uniform on, have my badge on. I don't got it right now, whatever. But, I mean, because out here, like, being a federal worker don't always protect you. So, I don't know. That's crazy. What y'all think I should do?
Yeah, I mean, it's really scary because, you know, hello, it's because the person's non-white. That's pretty obvious. I mean, going up to a person who's delivering mail, it's just, it's,
Obviously, I mean, and it's obvious who a mail carrier is. You got the badge.
I mean,
especially
you
if you're
got the
walking.
back. I mean,
Like, he's like, these are people's bills, like, and, you know, coupons and stuff. Like,
and, you know, like he said, I don't go outside now. So that is, we don't have an article about it, but I've been reading how the Chicago like restaurants are doing horrible. Businesses in general are doing really, really bad because people, non-white people, are afraid to go out. That's just the reality. And they are really, this is terrorism. This is absolute terrorism that is coming to us. And it's a horrible situation. It's, you know, and even though nothing really bad happened on that, thank goodness, that shows you what they are doing. It shows you that they're going up to random non-white people and harassing them. And I mean,
yeah,
he was really lucky that the boss picked up the phone, because
that's what I was going to say. What if they had?
I remember I would call boss doesn't answer. It's like,
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean, everybody knows that. Like,
Yeah.
especially if you work a weekend.
yeah.
By
yeah.
the way, the post office they now work on Sundays because they're running like a business. You know, it's a service, y'all. But yeah, what could have happened to him? So it's just racial profiling.
There was a young African-American guy in a Walgreens in Chicago that was thrown down to the ground. His mother was right there. His mother was right there. He was like, they showed a picture of him. I think he looked like 14, something like that. And the mother was screaming, "This is my son. What are you doing?" And, you know, so yeah, this is absolute pure Nazi terrorism.
Yeah. So Joe says badge
Yeah.
Got to show you no stinking bads.
Thank you for the movie reference there, Joe. One of the all-time, classic movie references.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Richard Pink says Trump's goal is to destroy America.
Right. Yeah. Yep. We talked about accelerationists. Yeah. And we got one other one here from the inside out, like the warlock in the lion's belly. I mean, it is just, it's wow. This country,
Yeah.
holy. I mean,
I know. Y'all. This takes a lot of I don't know, emotional fortitude to get through these articles and be able to be here, because sometimes it's just so overwhelming. It like putting the show together. Sometimes, like, I can't do anything else the rest of the day. I'm depressed. But then I get a good night's sleep or whatever, and then back at the next morning.
But yeah, no, I mean, you just think about what these people are, random individuals are going through. I mean, it's just they get targeted, and it's horrific what goes on. Frankie.
Yeah. So the next article is from Block Club Chicago, and the author is Ariel Pirelli. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Apologies if I'm getting it wrong. Chicago auto person demands $100,000 in damages after ICE agent cuffed her. The incident left Fuentes with injuries to her wrists, shoulders, and arms, including bruising, and extreme mental distress, anguish, and fear, according to a claim she filed Tuesday. So,
and
I mean, they just grabbed her and wrenched her arms behind her back, and
right, because she was asking a question about the patient at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She was asking a question. They were asking a question, and just decided, again, that's what these ICE folks are. They're like, if they don't like somebody challenge them in the slightest way, they think they're going to be really cool and, start to arrest them. And because, they got issues, right? That's why they signed up for this crap. They got issues, their own. And, it's too bad. When I first heard about this, I was hoping that they would go after the individual. Now they say in here, because the agents who threatened Fuentes did not identify themselves, the claim does not mention them by name, but it is a way to hold accountable their employer, the Department of Homeland Security, the attorney said.
Cool.
Okay, well, okay, but I mean, you can't get you got the face of one of them, and just that's the excuse there. I mean, I think that I thought about the police officer that Derek, or was that
Derek Chauvin?
Yeah, Derek Chauvin. I mean, they didn't just sue the police department, they went after the person. If this person did a criminal act, why aren't they going after the individual? And I mean, I hate to be
maybe that's part of the lawsuit, is to identify that person.
Maybe. Okay.
To see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be nice if they had done that beforehand, and then they went after the individual. I want some of these individuals to be charged. If you can be charged for murder, you should be able to be charged for assault as an individual, and then have the Department of Homeland Security defend you. But I wish they would go after individuals. But anyway, it's still good that they're taking action. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean, we had that on the show when that happened. She was just saying, "What about this person's, constitutional rights?"
Right. Yeah, we should.
He's like, "I'm telling you to leave." Well, can you answer the question? And I'm an older person, like
right.
I'm his representative, like
right.
Or there, I don't know if it's a man or woman. So they're at a freaking hospital,
right?
I mean, you guys, if you guys watch the Gaza stuff. Do you not hear the echoes? Do you not see them?
Yeah.
The IOF went into hospitals and just killed people, stop people from having surgery, just the same things are happening here. I've been trying to warn people for years, but I guess now we got it.
Yeah.
But Trump. So the next article is from the Real News Network, and Trump's ICE jacks up weapons spending by 700%, including guided missile warheads. ICE was always going to be Trump's private military to deploy domestically against Americans.
Yeah, guided missile warheads. What the F is going on? ICE? ICE.
So they're gonna.
I'm-
Oh, we decided this entire place is a bunch of people that don't need to be here, so we're just gonna bomb it. Is that what's gonna start happening?
I mean, as Butch Warren had did in a post about how, this is reminiscent of the MOVE organization in the 1970s in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, was it? That the government bombed. They bombed the building. So it seems like that's on the agenda now. They certainly have the equipment to do it. I mean,
Yeah,
and again, how does this get through?
because he doesn't ask permission anymore.
But funding, this is, I didn't read it. Oh, it because of the big bill, beautiful bill. Okay, that's how they
Well,
got it.
and
It was
the
passed. The funding for it. I just meant the funding for it. Yeah.
yeah. And Richard Pink says before the incident with Chicago alderman became filmed, the ICE agents threw the alderman into the wall twice.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The whole situation scares me to death. I leave the house every day, but I'm scared the whole time. I live in Cicero, and this fascist bullshit is happening all around me.
there was a federal marshal who was taking somebody into custody. I think illegal immigrant type situation. And ICE came and confronted this situation. I don't know the details, but the end result is the ICE agent shot the federal marshal in the hand. I mean, it's like,
If you're on the police force or in the sheriff's office or the state police, you need to be protecting us from ICE, not the other way around.
yeah, I mean, right. They got to realize who the enemy is here. I mean, my God.
Yeah, it's not peaceful protesters that just want to chant,
A U.S. Marshal
Yeah.
shot by ICE.
So that article was from Common Dreams, by the way, if I didn't
Okay.
say it. So Chicago cyclists are buying out tamale carts so they can get back home.
I do love these kind of stories. This is the kind of stuff people talked about, oh, come on, protesting, you should help folks out. I mean, both is going on and both are important, but folks are really stepping up. I mean, they really are in Chicago. They are fighting back in a lot of creative ways. And thank goodness for these folks who have the money to buy out the entire tamale cart. Good for you. I love this.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
People I know have left the
Did we
country.
share it? Did we share it? Or,
It's Block Club Chicago. Pilsen, Little Village, Back of the Yards. So who wrote it? Lee Giangreco. Don't know if that's how you say it.
Okay.
Cycling Time Solidarity's latest mutual aid effort takes cyclists on group rides through Pilsen and other neighborhoods to buy out tamale vendors so they can stay home as ICE agents swarm the city. They pass out the food to people in need. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh. Okay. Who is there? This an organization or cycling and solidarity? Oh, that's them. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an organization. Oh, got it. Okay. I'm a huge fan right now.
Oh, look at that picture. How great is that?
Oops, sorry.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
Love it. See, that's Chicagoans are great. Some of them are.
And doing double duty, like saving this person from being out there and possibly getting hurt, and then going and feeding people that don't have food.
Okay, these folks are genius. They're absolutely genius. Oh my God, we got to get somebody from them on. I'm gonna write that down.
Yep. This is I kind of feel like this is the free space that anybody that's pushing back on the craziness, just come here and talk about it. We would love to hear from you.
Oh gosh, no, I'm going to reach out to them because no. This is
Nice.
just such a great. Wow, this is mutual aid. Like, this is mutual aid, folks. Love it.
So, the next thing we had, I don't know if we have it up yet. Is that the Ben Norton one? Yeah. Okay. So this is from Ben Norton. Where'd you get this? Is this Facebook?
I'm
Remember
thinking it's Twitter.
Twitter, okay. The
Blue
U.S.
check.
military has already been outsourcing its wars for decades to mercenary companies. Blackwater.
Yep.
Now it's privatizing the land, infrastructure, and assets it owns, selling them to private equity firms. The oligarchy is stripping the copper out of the proverbial wire of the U.S. government.
Right. Right. No, I mean, that's the thing, is that this corporate takeover, it isn't just the US. I mean, I know that BlackRock grabbed a whole bunch of Ukraine because Zelensky actually put up the offer, come on in, companies, buy up our country. So, I mean, seriously, I think that old, cartoon of I'm going to take over the world. It's happening, folks. BlackRock is doing it. I mean, they are literally taking over the world. They're buying
The pinky and the
everything there is. Right. Yeah, thank you. Pinky in the brain.
What are we doing today, Brain?
Thank you.
We're going to take over the world. Just the same thing we do every day.
Thank you. That's Edie, I could not do the show without you. Oh my God. Thank you for that.
And it's way more fun with Scott here because he makes me laugh.
Oh, okay. But no, I mean, literally, and BlackRock. So that's Graham, the Democrat that Crystal Ball's all excited about. I mean,
yeah.
Folks.
Yeah. And Blackwater was used during the Iraq War.
Okay.
Right. And it was, oh God, I don't remember their name, but Mitch McConnell's wife's, like, Eric Prince was related, I believe.
Okay, right.
I remember right. Yeah, and he was in charge of Blackwater. It's just, we're hiring mercenaries. They're not accountable. And how do our soldiers feel about that? So talking about stealing resources and doing things, without permission. I guess Trump has declared war on Venezuela.
Oh my God.
Denounced Congress. Right. So this is another SharePost article, which I highly recommend you sign up. They will flood you with emails. You don't have to read them all. Just the headlines is enough to kind of catch you up to speed. People wonder where we get all our good stuff. That's a major place. And Scott goes to Twitter.
I do. I mean, I'm sorry. I shouldn't, right? It shouldn't support the network. But it's still the place where people are posting. It's still, yeah.
So this has been Norton again, geopolitical economy report. The United States is waging war on Venezuela. This is not a hypothetical.
Nope.
It is happening.
It's happening, folks. Probably within a week.
The Donald Trump administration is using extreme violence to overthrow Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. military has killed dozens of Venezuelans in strikes on boats in international waters. Wait, who does that sound like? Israel? Flotilla? Just saying.
Yeah. Oh.
Without charge or trial. No due process. Same thing ICE is doing. UN experts have publicly condemned these attacks. Well, your words aren't doing much, are they? Extrajudicial executions that violate international law, just like Israel. So see what you did. We didn't stop them. They're still doing their stuff in Israel, which we're going to see in a little bit. And now it's spread. It's like cancer, It is not only Venezuelans who have been executed by the U.S. military. Among the victims of these illegal U.S. attacks have been fishermen who were citizens of Colombia and Trinidad and Tobago. Family members of the victims from a Trinidadian fishing village were interviewed by The Guardian, and they condemned Trump for killing poor people, arguing that he simply wants to take their gas and their oil. Like, he gets it. In other words, the Trump administration is killing innocent people from multiple countries as part of its war on Venezuela.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And now they're going to go to a land offensive and B-2 bombers or B-52 bombers.
There's been so many boats now. I'm not sure how many boats we bombed. The last one, I think they were actually returning to shore when they were bombed.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things you got down here. You may find it.
Yeah. Well, I just,
oh, you got it.
Yeah, it's just really horrific. Yeah, there it is. They killed 11 in a boat strike, and they were returning to shore. So he's pretty much just randomly picking boats to bomb, really random. and
Indiscriminate.
and they've just come up with, this is going to be their propaganda, is to call them drug traffickers, and now they're narco terrorists. They got new names, and that's supposedly to sell it, and that's what it's done, just so people can share these terms around to try to manufacture consent. And it's sick. And can we segue to the Nobel Peace Prize winner?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to cover the Africa thing too.
Oh, well, no, it's
I might
the
have
next
skipped
one.
ahead. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead.
It's the okay. So this is from Midwestern Marks, and this is on Twitter about the person who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's no coincidence here that they are a person that wants a violent revolution and coup and in Venezuela, and that's how you win the Nobel Peace Prize. So hold on a second.
Let's do more war.
Yep.
So do they not understand what the word peace means, or has that institution been so corrupted that it's meaningless at this point?
It is. So it's like all of those things have been so corrupted. Yeah. They don't even pretend. They don't even pretend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see if I can find it.
It is Nobel Peace Prize winner on stealing Venezuelan oil. And so somebody's commenting on it, but you actually get to hear from her.
Yeah, hold on a
What is
second.
her
I'm
name?
so sorry.
That's okay. Maria Corina Machado. Well, I'll read a little bit of this and you let me know when you're ready, because I won't be able to see. Venezuelan coup leader Maria Corina Machado vows to privatize oil. U.S. corporations will make a lot of money.
Yeah, here it is. I got it ready.
Okay.
Watch Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado offer her own country up on a silver platter to U.S. corporations. She admits to Donald Trump Jr. here what I've been trying to say for weeks.
Forget about Saudi Arabia. Forget about the Saudi. We have more oil. I mean, infinite potential. And we're going to open markets. We're going to kick off the government from the oil sector. We are going to privatize all our industry. Venezuela has huge resources: oil, gas, minerals, land, technology. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, hours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do. And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity for investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money.
Why are you trying to hand over your country's oil to American companies?
Right.
Shouldn't you want the Venezuelan economy to be in the hands of Venezuelans? But that's the thing. She doesn't have any grassroots support in her own country, so she's just trying to goad the Americans into giving her more funding and propping her up. She's appealing to American corporations here instead of her own people because that's who she serves and that's who gives her her money. And we know she's a U.S. corporate puppet, but it's wild to hear her say the quiet part out loud. We're gonna privatize everything, and American companies are first on the list for who gets to plunder our country. Please give me more money and continue to foment regime change. It doesn't get more pathetic than this. I mean, this is also the lady who wrote a letter to Israel begging them to invade her own country and install her as the new leader. She is so desperate for power that she's willing to sacrifice her own country on the altar of US and Israeli imperialism. I can't believe Venezuelans aren't rising up behind her on the platform of let's give our economy to America.
Yeah.
Watch.
Exactly.
Yeah, how's that been working for our country?
Yeah.
I think we just demonstrated how it's not working.
And Maduro called for citizens to unite and form a own citizens brigade, and they got 9 million people in Venezuela. Gave them arms, folks, for those liars out there that said that Maduro took everyone's guns away. And they're ready to fight. They're ready to fight the U.S. And gosh, isn't it weird? War comes up and we're always like,
well, it's
on
always
the
about
side of the others, not the U.S.
Yeah, it's always about resources and power.
Right, of course.
Yeah, it's always about money.
So that's what gets you a Nobel Peace Prize.
to screw over everyone.
Yep. To privatize. It's the corporations that determine who gets the Nobel Peace Prize, folks. Corporations are running everything.
We should have a People's Nobel Peace Prize.
Mm.
I mean, we kind of did. We voted for Greta Thunberg and some other people that have done great work, and the girl from the UN.
Yes.
But speaking of UN, this is also from SharePost. Venezuela alerts UN to imminent military threat amid U.S. escalation. And this is from Carlos Ron from the People's Dispatch. The war on drugs is a pretext. Hostility from Washington towards progressive governments in Caracas is not new. But the administration has initiated an unprecedented escalation against the government and the people of Venezuela under the declared pretext of stepping up the war against drug trafficking. How's a fishing boat going back to shore? Anyway, the U.S. has deployed a significant array of military assets to the Caribbean, including destroyers, missile cruisers, F-35 fighter jets, surveillance planes, an attack submarine, over 4,000 Marines, and even a nuclear submarine. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, also announced a new task force in the Caribbean. A new task force in the Caribbean. But analysts and former officials have suggested that the primary goal is to pressure the government of Nicolas Maduro and potentially pursue regime change. And now we're sending them an aircraft carrier, which is how you get planes to bomb your country.
Yeah, right. So they are definitely setting up. And this came from Lewis Gordon. In English, we call that Benedict Arnold. Absolutely. That's what our Peace Prize winner is. And Joey Harrington had a good comment also. Venezuela has strategic partnerships with Russia and China, which really drives our government nuts. So, so they want revenge too. There you go.
They're allowed to trade with whoever the hell they want to trade.
Right.
We shouldn't be allowed to force them.
Oh,
that's why we should have stopped Israel a long time ago, because look what's happening now. People have impunity. They think, well, they didn't stop Israel, so we can do whatever the hell we want.
Right.
And one continent that never gets talked about is Africa. Africa will be free when the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, stops colluding to steal its wealth. This is also from SharePost, but the article is from Vijay Prashad, Tricontinental Institute for Social Research. I'll just give you the bullet points. I'll read the first part. In February 2025, excuse me, Senegal's Court of Auditors released a report. Scott, you take over.
Yeah, I could
found
anomalies in the management of public finances between 2019 and 2024 during the presidency of Macky Sall, 2012 to 2024. For instance, the court found that while Salih's government had suggested that the budget deficit for 2023 was 4.9% of the gross domestic product, it was in fact 12.3%. The court went to work on this reconstruction of public finances because of a very significant accusation made by Senegal's new prime minister, Ousmane Sonko, at a press conference in Dakar in September 2024. What the auditors found and what the International Monetary Fund validated was the actual debt ratio was 99.7% of GDP, and the deficit had been underestimated by 5.6% of GDP in August. The debt ratio was revised to 111% of GDP. So yeah, I mean, the IDF has been an issue with numerous countries. This is just one example. I was trying to find something else. I don't see it now, but
talk about covering Alaska. Nobody covers Africa.
Yeah, right. We here.
Yeah, we do. I mean, in general, yeah, for sure. Sorry about that. I was in a parade, so I guess I have a little stuff going on.
Oh gosh, and we're
it's
at
a little cool here.
We're at an hour 39. Should we just try to find the ones?
Sure. Well, I'll just read our titles. I would like to do Caitlin Johnstone.
Okay. Yeah, let's
So
go.
there was no ceasefire. So we'll do that. That's a short.
Okay.
Then
See if I can find it. What's the title of it?
they said the massacres would stop when
Okay.
the hostages were released. They haven't stopped. And
Okay.
then we'll, I mean, just before you start it, just to preface it, Gaza officials say Israel has violated ceasefire 80 times in the first 10 days.
Yeah.
So there was no ceasefire. So go ahead.
Hazel, do you want to? Oh, there you go. Are you? Yeah. Thank you.
They said the massacres would stop when the hostages were released. They haven't stopped. Last year, I banged out an angry rant about the way Israel supporters would yell, "Release the hostages," at anyone who talked about the latest massacre of Palestinian civilians, saying Hamas was to blame for the killing because of their refusal to release the Israeli captives, and that it would all stop once the hostages are free.
Yeah.
I'm remembering that essay today because the hostages are free, but the massacres are continuing. On Friday, Israel reportedly blew up a vehicle carrying a Palestinian family of 11 people, including 7 children. The IDF gave its usual excuse for the massacre. The civilians were deemed to have crossed an invisible line into a forbidden zone, which made the Israeli soldiers feel unsafe. They did this exact same thing constantly during the last quote-unquote ceasefire as well. In my polemic last year, I argued that the slaughter we were seeing in Gaza plainly had nothing to do with pushing for the release of Israeli hostages, and that even if it did, it would still be barbaric to massacre children until your enemies caved to your demands. But 2 years of genocide have made it clear that the Israeli military was never killing Palestinian civilians in order to push for the release of hostages or force Hamas to cave in to their demands. The Israeli military kills Palestinian civilians in order to kill Palestinian civilians.
Mm-hmm.
The killing is the goal, and it always has been. We see this illustrated over and over again in all sorts of ways. Israel apologists always argued that the only reason the IDF had destroyed Gaza's healthcare system with non-stop hospital attacks was because Hamas was using the hospitals as secret military bases. But then multiple independent reports from Western doctors in Gaza confirmed that Israeli forces had been entering the hospitals after attacking them and systematically destroying individual pieces of medical equipment one by one in order to make them unusable. Hamas wasn't the target in those hospital attacks. The hospitals themselves were the target. And now we are seeing the Israel is killing people because Hamas has Israeli hostages narrative debunked in exactly the same way the Israel keeps bombing hospitals because there are Hamas bases in all of them narrative was. The hostages are free, but the massacres continue. None of which will surprise anyone who was paying attention these last 2 years. Israel's genocidal intent has been on full display every minute of every day, even during this joke of a ceasefire where the genocide was theoretically supposed to be on pause for a little while.
Yeah, it's just, and you know what's really gross is, so they were trying to come up with an excuse. So the excuse was, one of them was that they hadn't released the remains of everyone that had died, of the hostages. And again, just the absurdity of that entire situation. They bombed the hell out of the place. You think they're going to be able to keep track of everybody? Because Israel killed some of those hostages with bombs. I mean, the point of a hostage is supposed to be that would, you know, be a negotiating technique, and that's tactic. And that's what the purpose was, a negotiating tactic. But they didn't care. They bombed the hell out of the place. They starved the entire place, which meant they bombed the hostages and they starved the hostages. So, and what to me was extremely gross is that the contentious part of the not all the remains, that's what was on the local news in Chicago. That's what they covered. It's like, you understand the absurdity of that logic, and yet you're still going to sit there as a Channel 9 Chicago news reporter and read that crap. I mean, it's really disgusting the way the propaganda gets filtered all the way through to your local news station. That's how sick it is.
I mean, Palestinians can't find their loved ones.
Oh, God, of course.
You know, the place has been completely demolished. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just, it used to be, even though it was a concentration camp, basically, it was beautiful. And now it's just leveled. It's a destruction site, you know? So, you know, the next article we were going to cover talks about Israel returns Palestinian prisoners' bodies with signs of torture, mutilation, and execution. Yeah. So, you know, and just seeing the exchange of hostages, these people that even lived, you know, that they've had all kinds of horrible things that have happened to them since they've been there. They did not come back the same at all. The Palestinians, from what I could tell, you know, tried their best to keep them healthy, you know?
Oh, yeah. No. The ones that they did release looked fine. They did look fine.
And they offered, I think it was like the next day, because what they really wanted was their people home. Wasn't that true? They October 8th.
Yeah. And remember, folks, remember that. So the hostages looks decent, and yet the whole of Gaza has a level 5 starvation level. So they were actually feeding these folks. They were feeding these folks
over themselves.
I mean,
yeah. That's what kind of people they are. So since, you know, they figure, oh, we did Gaza, now we can move on to the West Bank. Definitely want to cover this, but so this was from Infinite Jazz. Footage shows Israeli settlers clubbing elderly Palestinian woman harvesting olives. So I'm trying to see, because I have a lot on this because it really upset me. This is the West Bank. This is not Gaza. It's still part of Palestine. So I've got the Substack article. Is there like a video? Oh yeah, there's a YouTube. Now, this is from Breaking Point, but I'm mostly having him talk. So started at 1302 to 1559. And there's another section. Yeah, that's the article, but there's a YouTube as well. Yeah, look at that picture.
And yeah, I was just going to say that this person who covered this was also beaten. They may cover that in here. So this is a person who lives in New York, and the representative from that area just goes on social media about Israel and having to protect Israel and how they feel fearful. But a person in his district, and this got covered widely, was beaten up by IDF because he was filming them attacking a woman who was trying to get olives. It's harvest time.
Yeah, and they used to say that, you know, if they had, you know, white people there, Americans there, Europeans there, that was protection, but not anymore. And the U.S. Embassy said, oh, we can't do anything. He called the U.S. Embassy.
And they've been ripping up hundreds upon hundreds of these olive trees for months and months and months. I mean, again, they're just trying to destroy everything Palestinian livelihood, everything. They're trying to find every way to destroy them.
Erase a people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 6 settlers in the West Bank, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. So
some of which are American too, people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you started.
There's 60,000 Palestinian Americans in the West Bank, and most of them are in this area, and they get zero protection from the United States, from the State Department. And, you know, if you look at those text messages, he says to me, it's the host nation's responsibility to protect American tourists. And if they don't do it, we pull our embassy from there, like we did with Syria and with Venezuela, and I think Yemen. So, and then he acknowledges Israel is actually failing to protect Americans. So by his logic, they should have pulled the embassy out of Jerusalem. But instead, of course, Huckabee is as close as ever with Netanyahu, and I do not believe we're considering pulling out the embassy. So, look, I don't need to explain the just like gross double standards with America's kid gloves that they use with Israel, or just the relationship. But I have to say, I was not subtle there. I told them before that exchange, we spoke on the phone, and I said to him, he had seen the video. I can't reveal the guy's name because it was off the record, but I said, listen, man, I was very close to being killed. Like, if those guys caught me, we saw what they did with the old lady. What do you think they would have done with me? And I'm going back out to the fields tomorrow to document it. And I need you to protect me. And they said no. So there it is.
I want to put before up on the screen to your point about like there are no safe places, safe people, nothing. So this Christian village that Huckabee had previously made a big deal about and gone to visit, and now being attacked also by Israeli settlers. I saw a video in this, you were speaking to some of the same about, like, for people who don't know, a longtime activist practice has been to, as a Westerner or a white person or an American, to be present during the harvest, during other critical times, because there was a sense that, like, okay, well, they won't murder the American journalist, surely. So this will provide some level of protection to the Palestinians, or they won't murder the European activists. So this will provide some level of protection. And that thinking, like, that is no longer the case. Anyone and everything is a target. There's total impunity. It's like, they know that they could have murdered that old lady, and there would never be they would never be tried for it. They certainly wouldn't be convicted for it. There would be no justice from the Israeli justice system for anyone who is other than, a Jewish Israeli. So is that your experience as well, that, American journalists or European activists, they are now just as much a target and nothing is off the table in the way that perhaps it used to be?
It's funny.
Yeah. It's just, and she's not entirely correct, because the woman that was there in the West Bank that they bulldozed, the American, do you remember her? Young activist.
Rachel Corrie.
Rachel Corrie. Yep. So they've been killing Americans for quite a while. And again, our American government does nothing about it. Nothing. They kill Americans. Mm-hmm. They don't care.
Yeah. I'm glad we don't have footage of that woman being beaten.
Yeah, no. I mean, we don't. Yeah.
But just an elderly woman just out picking olives, and a settler masked. Does that sound familiar? No identification, and still beating her while she's on the ground. Yeah. So go ahead and play this next part. So this is him from Infinite Jest.
I almost got
Go ahead.
Killed yesterday when you did that. Yeah, you led me right up into an ambush. I almost got killed. 100 people chased me. You know that? You were right there and you left, and I got chased by 100 settlers trying to kill me. I could be dead.
Yeah. Listen, they want to investigate the assault.
Okay,
they need your help.
Yeah, you're going to be investigated too, though, because you're part of it.
Can you help them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it was doing some propaganda.
Propaganda? Yeah, I almost got killed yesterday. Is that propaganda? You saw the video.
If we don't care, we just don't come here and try to protect you. But we care.
Oh,
and we got the police to investigate.
So has he been arrested yet? The guy who did it?
We're looking for him, and then he will arrest it.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Good.
Those people are charged to take some DNA and all those things.
Yeah.
But without feeling.
So, look, do I think that what happened yesterday and the coverage of it is going to, change everything? Absolutely not. But my point is, it does show that the Israeli government or the Israeli military or both, they are responsive to this kind of thing. Now, we've all watched what they've done in Gaza for the last 2 years. Obviously, they've committed a just horrific genocide and have largely just like batted away, shamelessly batted away every accusation against them. But in this case, it could not have been more clear that the fact that all these people saw what happened is why they had a safe day of harvesting their olives today. And so I think that, there's a balance between wanting to fully acknowledge what you're saying, Crystal, which is that the violent settlers act with complete impunity. But there is evidence that if we showed the world the kind of violence and brutality that they're facing, maybe they'll have a day of good harvesting, which is
some pressure.
Which is
That's an important point.
Yeah. And I maintain that I think the flotilla had a big part of why there was a ceasefire. I mean, the pressure was on globally.
Oh yeah, because they're like, we're sending 1,000 ships now.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna send 1,000,000 ships. Like, it's gonna stop. Yeah. So I did have this in here as a clip, but we'll skip it because the whole thing is worth watching. By the way, it's called "How to Erase a People," and it's on YouTube, and I believe it's in the show notes. But I wanted to move on quickly to Chris Smalls, who was on the Hamdallah, and he was singled out, in racial profiling, just like ICE is doing here. This is what I'm saying. I saw it coming from space, and here we are. When the Black Lives Matter things happen, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you add Gaza. I'm like, do you not see that it's the same people doing the same things, the same system that's going to oppress us? But Chris Smalls, if you want to start it at 49 seconds to 5:13, and then another short clip, and then this is our last one. We'll end it after this. But he said, in the middle of that, he talks about how they want to know how did he beat a $2.2 trillion company, and he said it's the power of the people, and they have to go on strike to get the first contract, so they're building towards that. The best direct action is withholding your labor. Billionaires can't do the work for you. To become wealthy, you had to exploit your labor force. I think this is Mark Lamont Hill.
Yeah.
On Al Jazeera.
I know. He's on Al Jazeera. Okay.
Wait, I thought I was seeing double here. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. It's 49 seconds to 5:13.
Yeah, as a trade unionist, it is our responsibility to be a shield to the working class. I understood that when I was fighting for Amazon workers, understanding that connecting the struggles, connecting the dots with the working class doesn't exclude the liberation of Palestinians. One of the models that I stand by is a model that's well known in the labor movement. Injury to one is an injury to all. And understanding that Amazon has a lot to do with this genocide was one of the reasons why I wanted to heavily get involved. They invested $7.2 billion into a project called Project Nimbus, which is the intelligence that's being used to target and surveil innocent Palestinians every day. And for me, organizing against Amazon, connecting the dots by getting on the previous mission, the flotilla, was something that I want to do to shine a bright light on labor and also spread awareness to our community. Let us know that our taxpaying dollars are going towards this endless genocide that needs to be stopped.
So you talk about Amazon's direct investments in Palestinian suffering, but then there's also a kind of bigger, maybe more abstract argument, which is that Palestinian liberation and working class liberation are somehow tied together. I've heard you speak to that a little bit. Can you say more about what that means?
Yeah, I had the privilege of doing a panel discussion with Dr. Mustafa Bourgadi, and he laid out the history.
Very prominent Palestinian
Absolutely.
voice. Yeah.
And he laid out the history of the resistance movement, and he also invited me to go to Palestine. This was before October 7th. But then the week of October 7th, I happened to be in Berlin, Germany, which is one of the largest Palestinian diasporas outside of Palestine, with about 30 to 40,000 of them that reside there. And I've seen with my own two eyes, along with my comrades out there, how they kettled in the community. They tore down flags, they suppressed the speech. They were basically telling us that we couldn't even say the word Free Palestine. I saw how they pulled their children away from their parents. They used the paddy wagon system. They lined Palestinians up and they arrested them. And I shared that experience when I came back to America. And overnight I lost thousands of followers of people who said they supported me for Amazon, but this is where they draw the line. And to myself, I said, that's a familiar feeling,
How so?
When people saw me organizing against Amazon, which they deemed as unorganizable, they thought that it wasn't going to be successful. But how we were able to be a $2.2 trillion company was by bringing people together. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with this movement. Palestinian and the people of Gaza have shown the world what we have to do right now in these times. We have to come together as people.
I see you got a lot of tattoos, but there's a fresh one on your hand there. It says Hamdallah in Arabic, which is a very famous Palestinian cartoon, but it's also the name of the flotilla that you were on. In July, you joined the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, which aims to break the Israeli blockade, to deliver aid, and to help establish a kind of a humanitarian corridor into Gaza. Your ship was intercepted by the Israeli military, but you got singled out. You got assaulted, you got arrested, you got jailed. Why did that happen?
Yeah, you know, several reasons why I joined this mission. This initiative has been going on for over 17 years. The Handela was flotilla number 37. And once again, as a trade unionist, as a black man, as a American taxpaying citizen, I definitely knew I had to connect the dots. Once again, showing that the U.S. labor movement is very complicit by not passing any resolutions since October 7th. Spreading awareness to even the black community, being the only black passenger on board out of the 21 of us, 19 activists, 2 journalists. And the last thing, just knowing that how many billions of dollars went towards this genocide that killed, you know, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, was one of the main reasons why we all should be outraged and we shouldn't have to do these flotilla missions. But yeah, I knew the risk of being a black man. I knew that I was going up against one of the most dangerous, merciless, ruthless armies in the world. And throughout my entire experience, I knew that I only experienced just a glimpse of what Palestinians have to go through every day.
You said...
Yeah. No, it's also true. I don't know the status right now, but there was a Nigerian activist on one of the boats, and they were still in jail as of a day or two ago. But yeah.
I made this kit for women that want to try makeup but don't know where to start. To
I
celebrate
think
the
that's
5
probably
years,
that was a good
we
place to
have
add.
Well, once again,
I was gonna say that was a good place to add because it was very positive, and I know you like to end on the positive, but that was fantastic. I mean,
Yeah. But we got like another minute and a half, which is really, a little over a minute. This is really good.
Okay.
My journeys took me around the world to visit other countries, seeing that there's labor parties, there's socialist parties, there's green parties, there's multi-party governments where labor unions have direct access to these parties, these party leaders, and the working class have access to these party leaders. Understanding that in our country, once again, union density is in the gutter, less than 6% in the private sector, less than 10% in the public sector, and it's still in a decline every day. And I'll go to a country in Europe where they have 90% union density, and you know, workers have to be forced to take a two month holiday and a 3-day work week, and they have universal health care, they have, you know, like a low crime rate, they have 0% homelessness. And see all of these things possible and understand that, you know, we're being duped here in America. We've been duped here for a very long time. And I'm 37 years old. It didn't take me that long to figure this out. But unfortunately, 70% of Americans don't even have a passport. So they don't even understand what it is. When they leave the country, they'll see the things that are night and day that's different. And what I'm trying to do with the party that I'm trying to revitalize, we once had a labor party, but it was dissolved by the...
Yeah, he is looking to build a labor thing, which is
a labor party.
Labor Party.
Yeah. I'm glad that he mentioned the Green Party and the Socialist Party. And I've said this many times. I am not opposed to other parties by any means. Some are in the right space and some are questionable. So no. If he's in charge, I'm all for it.
Right?
I'm all for it. That man, he is the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's paid his dues.
Yeah, right. I mean, it would be nice if he joined the Green Party in New York, but no. We've covered the Black Panther Party too, and I think that if folks
but it sounds like
right
he has
space,
respect for the Green Party.
Yeah, right. And just the idea that in other countries there are more parties than these two, and it makes for
Can you imagine being forced to take a 3-month vacation?
Oh God.
People that
Damn union.
yeah,
Damn
women that have babies can't even get 2 weeks off.
I know. No, it's yeah, and he makes such a good point. Once you look at other countries and what they're doing, that's the thing they
Yeah.
try to suppress in this country is, they try to make us sound like we're the number one in everything, folks.
Right.
We aren't even
best-
close.
The best cure for racism is travel.
Yeah, yeah,
When you find out that everyone is pretty much like you,
yeah.
you kind of get over it. Some people need to see it. Other people just kind of already knew that. But yeah.
But
So
no,
thank you for sticking with us for so long. You
Yeah.
have something else?
no. It's just
And we
gonna say
want to talk
that's
about our shirts.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'll put that up. So yeah.
This is
Sorry about the token earlier. I don't know what that was. It's the Rise, Resist, and Revolt shirt from the National Green Party.
yeah.
There it is. Found it.
There you go. All right, there you go. So at
Green Party
shop.gp.org. Okay, they got way too many collections, apparel, products. Oh my God, they're as bad as we are. So
I know.
hopefully you can.
Oh,
find
because
the
I did the
place.
actual shirt. But if you just want to go
Oh.
to the first part, yeah. If you like
Yeah.
this shirt, so there's the green one and the black one. I like the black one too. I almost got that one.
Yeah.
But then we would match. And people would be like, I don't know
Ew.
about that. Give you a little choice. But yeah, so yeah, just go to gp.org.
Yeah.
Collections,
find it. You'll
apparel,
find it.
something like that. You'll find it.
find
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
And we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Until then,
and-
yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Bye.
All right. Keep the peace. Bye.
Uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising. Fight the power. It's an uprising. Fight the power.